What's the GFDC model of development?
GFDC model of development, like we are almost in 2 years of development, we are with 24 centers. The last center, 24th, we had it at Arambol. And we are mostly focusing on grassroots. And I would say about grassroots is for children, for boys or girls between the age group of 6 to 12, where we focus only on the basic techniques of the game, and it's fun. Without pressure, you know, we will not focus on winning at that level, but we want a boy or a girl to develop technically, tactically, you know, as they grow. From 6 to 7, like there are 4 phases in football. There is a fun phase, which is 6 to 10. There is a foundation phase, that is 11 to 12. There is a formative phase, that is 14 to 16. And there is a final phase, that's 17, 20 and so on. So we are focusing on the grassroots phase, and yes, once the grassroots phase, the players are developed, there's a pipeline where we are having a pre-academies. It's like a pyramid. The foundation is big layout throughout the structure of Goa, and then the best are filtered, the best talent is filtered and taken in like a pre-academies. As you know, our technical director, Mr. Cates, will be joining us by our chairman and member secretary has already declared that. And once he joins us, we'll have our academies in setup, and the pipeline of talent, you know, will not only get wasted, but it will go from the foundation of grassroots to pre-academies, academies, and from the academies they can go to the national teams to be a part of the Under-17 World Cup.
Gavin, I have here a piece of note with me. This is a model that Belgian Federation adopted. They told the clubs like Anderlecht and Standard Liège how they should raise their young players and what formation they should play. And then even they told them that the kids, the younger players that they have in the age group teams, they had to be delayed. They had their introduction to the full size pitches was delayed. They were playing with small sided games using half of the pitch. Is that something that Indian clubs are doing? What's the basic model of youth development at Dempos?
We have already adopted all these methods of coaching. Actually, if you go to see, they in 2001 or 2 they filmed around 1,500 matches of age group matches, and they found out it was a study run by a university, and they found out that some kids have touched the ball only 2 or 3 times in the whole match on the whole field. So that's when the idea started coming of small-sided game to get more number of touches, and then that's how they will improve. If they touch the ball more times, they'll get more confidence on the ball. So when we practice, it's about a lot of small-sided games. And even fitness is now done with the ball, and gradually we increase the size. But every day we see that at least 15-20 minutes they play the full size, because they also have to understand the positions on the ground. If all the time you play the small-sided games, also doesn't work. So it's a mixture of everything. You know, you start a small-sided game, they get more touches, they improve, and then you also show them the positions and how to play on the bigger ground.
Daryl, now we see that GFDC has this huge number of trainees under them. What is the time that they get to know about the techniques of football, various techniques of ball control? Because starting from 6 and then progressing, at what age they should be getting interest in trying to keep the ball and doing all that dribbling and all that stuff?
As for grassroots, the age is 6 to 12, as we have said, but if you see in foreign countries like Brazil and all, at the age of 4 and 5, they are introduced to football, you know, with a mini ball, like a indoor futsal and all those kinds. And yes, 6, 7, 8 is a phase of fun phase for them to love football, to get closer to the game, to understand. Okay, we did no pressure at all on them, you know. Grassroots is without pressure, I say it again. For them to love the game, you know. And to know slowly while playing, as he said, small-sided game comes and play a very important role there. Yes. Because grassroots doesn't play 11 versus 11. Yes. Grassroots starts with 4v4, 5v5, like 6 to 8, 9, and then it progresses to 7 versus 7 and stops till 9v9. So the player is developed in that phase and make it ready from the fun phase to the foundation phase. That is for the making him prepare for the under 14 category. But side by side was 7, 8, we introduced them techniques.
At 7, 8?
7 and 8. Okay. But 6, 7, they are given with the ball, but no pressure, as he can do it slowly. Yeah. But as they develop, you have to see the player's age and ability, their level. If he can do it well, then we progress him. But he's under average, we give him more training. But the technique is introduced. Only the difference might be he's doing the technique little faster, with higher intensity, and he's doing a technique little slow. Okay, there will be a long time to develop a player. Like you won't get a quick result, but the dribbling, all the techniques are introduced to them there.
So when the techniques are introduced at this age, and then when they start playing at the youth team at under 14 level and under 16 level, how do you accelerate their ability to master those techniques?
Sometimes we just let them play. Sometimes you see a kid can do extraordinary things. Sometimes you don't tell them what to do, because you'll be amazed sometimes. If you just give them the ball, they will do much better than what's in your mind.
Okay.
So sometimes nowadays they say it's not about drills and you tell them what to do. You just put them in situations where they then find their own solution for the problems. And they do it sometimes better than what we are thinking.
Wow. Here you also must have a very big coaching network at GFDC to man those 24 centers. So how equipped are your coaches to deal with all these big number of kids?
That's a good question, Neeraj. Firstly, I would focus on the value of coaching education in Goa. We require coaches who are educated. Why? Because better coaches, better players.
Yes.
So the coaches can understand. It's not necessary you have to play professional or international football to be a good coach. But the knowledge of the game is very important. Because how to deal with a child, to understand the psychology of a player, because that can get him closer, to teach him better. And as you always know that FIFA also says that game is the best teacher. But there should be a coach there, but who can develop a player with understanding and knowledge of the game. But the most important thing is the patience. Okay, so I request, like, if there are more coaches who are highly educated, they are most welcome for GFDC to apply, and be better for the state, for developing better players, because that is a need of for GFDC also.
Right. And Gavin, how important do you feel the coach education is, especially when the coaches have to deal with the developing phase of players between the age group of 14 to 20, because that is the time where the youngsters have to learn and master the various type of arts to be the player that they want to be.
It's very important. As players, sometimes we think that we know everything, and even before I went for my first license, even there must be so many other people thinking like that we don't need that. Like, we've played for 10-15 years and we know better than who are teaching us. Actually, it doesn't work like that. So you have to go to learn, because when you go there, then you come to know how less you know about the game. You maybe have played at the highest level, but you know very less, because there you'll get a lot of insights. And they say you have to start doing your licenses and when you are playing, because as a player you can be better as well. Like by the time you're 26, 27, if you're starting to do your batches, for 4 years, actually, you can be a better player, because you know the insights by that time, where you have to move and what are the things you need to do, and you can be a better player in your finishing days. And there is no other thing that coach education, it is the must. It's mandatory. I think it should be important.
And do you feel that coach education is getting enough importance here in India?
Right now, yes. I think everybody is focusing on that, and everybody knows that you need coach education to become a coach and just not a player.
Okay. Looking at the bigger picture, the GFDC is an agency to develop the grassroots talents, and perhaps now you are going to step up with the appointment of Kats Naidu as the technical director, and you are looking towards setting up the academies for players to go to the next level.
By roping in Mr. Kats Naidu, we are focusing on the pre-academies this year, and after observing them, analyzing them, evaluating them, we will filter them into the North and the South academies. And this North and South academies will be a hub for those talents, to expose them to various states, maybe even international if possible, with the best quality coaching, with the best guidelines for them to be better professionals, okay, and develop them as a gateway for Indian football, maybe even for the Under-17 World Cup.
Right.
They might be produced there to give trials for the Under-17 if they deserve, So the boy from playing in a normal field or in a normal playground, from a remotest parts of GFDC, has a hope and has a door open for the WC World Cup 2017. So that's a big hope,
So it's like from grassroots development, you are going into the actual youth development.
Actual youth development, and there are depend on the clubs, and we look for the players' growth, for the players' development. They'll have their own academies, and we develop players. So player will be developed for the state, for the clubs, and for the national team.
What kind of technical product can the GFDC supply to clubs like Dempo and perhaps all other clubs in India?
I think the standard will rise. So when they come to us by the age of 14, they'll be already accomplished with all the techniques and skills So we can just move ahead. Like now we must be behind 3-4 years, and after 10 years, when their children really make up to the clubs, I think the standard will be much higher, and we can improve and better. And actually, this model should be accepted by many states more. That's how India going to get more pool of players, because what they're going to do, their plan is to target 5,000 children. Imagine after 10 years, from 5,000, if you consider only 10%, as they say, will can play professional football, there'll be a big pool of players for us to choose from. And if more states in India are doing this model, and it will be very helpful for India.
Absolutely. Daryl, here in it's very important that for young kids, to come and take regular classes, the parents should also give them support to the youngsters to encourage them. What's GFDC's experience with the parents of all these trainees?
Yeah, parents' role is very important in developing a player, and parent support to know about the game is very important to push them, because education also matters. But football is a sport where you can make your career now. People are more knowledge about the game and what the game can give you back in return. So the parent support is very important. And at the centers, we have our consultative committees at GFDC centers where parents are roped in those committees. So parents know what is happening. Like one trainee trains thrice a week. We don't make him come every 6 days a week, because we put them in batches, so they get quality coaching. We don't want chaos like 50, 100 player coming and one coach take care. They won't learn anything. So there's parent support to send them. Now in rains also it is really difficult, but due to parents' cooperation, our trainings are happening. But if there's heavy rain or there is maybe some thunder or lightning, then they have a solution like to do some indoor workshop for them, like to show some videos, as I said, as screenings for the World Cup. So that's what in the picture, but we don't want to give a big gap for that.
Okay, so GFDC coach there, coaching officer Daryl D'Souza explaining to us what are the various working patterns here with the GFDC, and parents are very important, the point that he has just touched upon. Parents' role is very important if the youngsters have to come and take their football knowledge or football training very seriously. So if parents of young footballers are watching this program, do encourage your children, because football as a sport is a very big industry. It's a huge sport. The world's greatest show is the FIFA World Cup that is going on. Encourage your children to watch the World Cup. Do watch the World Cup so that you also understand what this sport is all about. Which team do you think will win the World Cup?
Which team will be winning the World Cup is really difficult to say, because the type of results you can see every day and the best teams going out. But I will put my money on Brazil.
Gavin, what do you feel?
All my life I've been supporting Brazil, but I think Argentina is a strong side. They will do very well.
Messi in great form.
Yeah, and so many players, supporting Messi, Di Maria, Aguero in the midfield, the defense. I think they're looking very good.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming to the studio and being part of this discussion, wherein we want to put a lot of stress on youth development, grassroots development, because just talking in air about India qualifying for the World Cup, or why can't India qualify for the World Cup finals, or whether we can qualify for the World Cup finals in 10 years, 20 years, doesn't make sense if there is a concerted effort in the direction, in a specific direction, like how Belgium have done. They put in the effort and they went with a vision, and they are now successful and they are in the World Cup again. So if India can emulate their model or any other model, but with 100% efforts, anything is possible. And on that optimistic note, I'll take your leave. Thanks for watching, and do keep watching FIFA World Cup and keep watching Prudent, because special World Cup programming is on your way. A program titled Free Kick will begin at the quarterfinal stage. Keep watching Prudent. Goodbye.